Hey everyone, welcome to Mediumship by Picasso. My name is Picasso Roberts, and if you're looking at my screen, it looks a little different today. Oh, I told you it was going to be exciting. I have a special guest on today, Miss Christy Godwin. Say hello, Christy.
Hello, thank you so much for having me, Picasso. How exciting.
It's super exciting. So this is an interview series that I'm doing, and you are number one, girl. And I'm glad I chose you because you are the hardest working woman in this industry, I have to say.
Thank you, Picasso. Thank you.
Okay, so I'm just going to keep this really simple. The reason I'm doing this is to allow people to understand that there is a soul behind the reader. When you're sitting across from your psychic medium and you're getting a reading, it's important to understand that they are coming, from a place that's most probably been through a lot to get to where they are. And, I, like you, I also have we've been through some stuff, girl. And
right.
Kudos to you for getting through your stuff and, getting to the other side of it. But that's the thing. I want to raise us up, and I want people to understand that we're more than just a reader, that we've come through a lot to get to where we are, being of service with spirit and for the client, the sitter. So I'd like for people to get to know us a little bit more, so that they can sort of relate to us and understand why we do what we're doing and all of that. But that there's more to Christy Godwin.
Thank you, Picasso. I think it's a great mission. Sometimes, yes, it's our job, and people sometimes see us as different than them. No, we're all the same. This is just a path we chose and a job we chose. And most of us have worked really hard to gain education and experience. So
yeah, it really does take a lot. It's a big commitment, and committing to honing the skills and all of that. Let me just read down. Now I had to make a list because Christy, you do so much. Oh my God!
Did you get all my Did you pull my? I don't even have all my certifications on my website. But
I don't know if you've got more than this.
Let's see what Picasso's got.
Holy cow! So, well, first of all, I'm going to read down the list of what Christy can do. So I was perusing your website, and for those out there, you can check her out at ChristyGodwinPsychicMedium.com. That's Christy Godwin, psychicmedium.com. And I was looking at your site and your abouts and, things like that. And then the things that I know about you, too. But firstly, you're a psychic medium, which is huge. And as we know, all psychics are not mediums, but all mediums are psychic. So for those who ever wonder about that, why is one way and why is one not? That's the deal. So Christy is both. You are a spiritual life coach. You do platform or gallery style mediumship, which is one of the things that we've done together, which has been beautiful. And you, sneaky girl, have been out there developing your own school. So you have it's called the Christy Godwin School of Spiritual Development. Do you want to take a minute and just tell us a little bit about that?
No, Picasso, I'd love to. I have, what came about the school is I have 20 years experience teaching at the collegiate level. So teaching comes naturally to me. And I just noticed there's so many questions. There's so many people searching for information. So I just combined my teaching skills with my mediumship skills and have developed many classes. I have Intro to Psychic Mediumship that is currently running now. It will probably run again at the beginning of the year. Advanced Mediumship. I have an angel class coming up. Something I'm very excited about is a lunch book club that I have coming up, and you register for the class and then buy the book, and then we're going to walk through healing some trauma. And not only will we be working through the book, I will also be helping everyone each week with just little skills. Is it, some tapping techniques? Is it some meditation techniques? Just whatever I feel like everyone needs. And there will be ongoing classes constantly coming up. There's just such a thirst for knowledge out there.
Yes. So if you're out there and you're listening, you're seeing this, please check out Christy Godwin's school. She has so much to offer on there. And I really love the idea of you going through that workbook with the students. I think it's so important. They have something to hold in their hand, not just the Zoom class that we all have, stepped into, which is a beautiful thing.
Absolutely.
But to have that workbook that they can study from, and then, lean on you for questions that you'll support them in that way. I think it's really an awesome thing you're doing with that.
Thank you. Thank you.
Congratulations on your school. I think it's great. Now, you also have a podcast. It's called Spiritual Talk. And that is that on Audible, or is that?
It's on all the major outlets. It's on Spotify, Apple, Audible, and some others that I don't remember the names of. There's about 20 platforms it runs across.
Now, you and I do something similar.
Similar but different.
Similar but different. So you have something called a soul plan, a life purpose guidance sort of reading. And that's giving a better idea of the why you're here and what your plan is. And that's individual, that's with business, that's with relationships, just about everything. And I do similar. I do the Michael Teachings soul chart readings, which is, it's very, very similar, but different.
The system was channeled by Blue Marsden, and it comes out of England. That's where I got my training from, was England.
Okay. Yeah. Did you go over to England?
I didn't. I did it via Zoom. Yes, I did it via Zoom.
Wow, that's fantastic.
It was right in the middle of COVID that I got the training. Well, I guess it was the beginning of COVID. It felt like it had been going on forever, but at that point, we'd only been in it about a month. But, in the beginning, COVID, it's still kind of scary, but in the beginning, there was a lot of unknowns. And so it's very good. The system talks about your innate challenges and talents and where you're headed. No one comes to this earth and gets a free ride. But we also come with talents, and it's like, what are you focusing on? Are you focusing on your challenges, or are you kicking in your talents? Because once you kick in your talents, we all have them. We're all capable of beautiful things. It's just kicking them in and head towards our goals of positivity.
Yeah. Anyway, we can stop the ride, hop off, and then restart.
Yeah. Sorry. No go.
Dang. Oh. All right. So you've got the soul plan, which is great. And how is that well received with people? They're understanding it?
It is. Yes. Because we walk through it. I run the chart. It's about an hour appointment. One of my most popular appointments is one that combines the soul plan and a reading, because people kind of want both and they don't want to have to choose. So I will combine them both. And we walk through it. And then after we walk through, then you also get a report that you can refer back to. If you forget what we talked about, you can refer back to the report. Yeah. So it's and some of it people will start recognizing in themselves. And it's not like our challenges go away, our innate personalities and the things that we're kind of pulled towards, but recognizing them and knowing what we have to lean on is just huge, and making changes of positivity in our life.
Yeah. It makes sense. It makes total sense to me. So I'm glad you're doing that. So you do that, and you do private readings and integrate. I'm assuming you do an integration in your readings. You teach. You're a spiritual life coach. You do past life regression. You do past life regression. That's excellent.
Yes.
The Akashic records. You studied under Linda Howe. Is that correct?
Yes.
At the Center for Akashic Studies?
Mm-hmm.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yes, it was a lot of fun. And then just this past weekend, which you don't see on my website yet, I won't be putting it up for a while, is I became a certified hypnotherapist.
Don't put me under. Don't put me under. I wanted to ask you one quick question. Let me just go back to the soul plan. Is there any similarity or connection to numerology with regards to that?
I know a lot of people, if you talk to them, no, it's independent. I'm also currently studying astrology. I've studied numerology. I've studied the soul plan. They're all together. They all they all overlap. They might come at the information a little bit differently, but they all overlap. I don't know if you've heard, most people have, Dolores Cannon. She's no longer with us. physically. Have you heard of Dolores Cannon?
I don't know if I have or not. Yeah.
She started her career hypnotizing or past life regression people, putting them under. And then she realized they were going to past lives, and she was taking them to between lives where, you're still trying to figure out what you're going to do in this lifetime. And one of the people she had past lifed to this in-between life was talking about they had to wait to a certain time and come into a certain family because they needed the astrological alignment to be a certain thing, and they needed that family's name because all names have vibrations to them.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And so, after studying all of these, I was listening to her, this channeling of someone, and I thought, there it is right there. It all just kind of fits together. It's just, how are you coming at the information? It's just a little bit different take on how you're looking at it. Same information, just how are you looking at it?
I think that speaks to just about everything that we learn in spirituality. I find that that you might call it something else or learn from somebody else, but you go over here and it's basically the same thing with just a slightly different twist. So we're going all to the same place. We're on the same train. We all have the same intent. We all have the same focus. It's just with a slightly different twist. And because not everybody learns this way or that way, so we have to pick and choose how it makes sense to us. And I think that's really cool. I think we need options like that,
Absolutely. And I learned that very much. I have my undergrad is in child development. And so it is much like that kids learn differently. So that's why you always present information in many different ways. Same with adults. Same thing I learned in my college classes. Adults learn differently. So you present the information differently, and it will stick with different people.
Yeah. I think the most fascinating thing about the soul having that in-between time, my spirit took me straight to children that pass early or pass at childbirth or whatever, because it's so traumatic for the family and that that soul is still connected to that family. People always wonder why do the little ones pop out like that? Why did they leave me? Why this, why that? But looking at the soul plan, you can have a better understanding of why that little one steps out. They'll come back. They're going to come back. It's just at a different time.
And, I always tell people that when they ask me questions, why this, why that, there is no why that is ever going to take away the hurt of losing a child. There's no greater hurt. There's no greater grief. And so there's no why. There's no answer that is going to take that away. It's just being able to process your grief a little bit and try to move forward with at least a little bit of joy that you can. And that's one of the great things I hear from spirits when they come through with messages is they all want us to find joy. They all want us to live in joy, all about the joy of it.
Yeah, it is. It really is.
And I do want to say real quick, sorry, but people think when they get their soul plan that everyone is meant to just be on stage doing these phenomenal things. Sometimes it's about holding space for others. Sometimes it's about stepping out in joy. Sometimes it's about just offering grace to your fellow human. That might be your cause for today. That is what you put on earth for today. Maybe stand on stage tomorrow, but today you're here to hold space for someone. You're here to offer grace for someone.
Exactly. Everybody has purpose. And so their purpose might be, holding space or saving one's life or just sending energy, just being there, being that friend to support. It's a beautiful thing.
It is.
All right, my dear. So now listen, let's get into some meat and potatoes. What I do know about you is that you're in Nebraska, but are you from Nebraska?
I am not. I was born and raised in Louisiana.
I always hear that accent with you. Mm-hmm. So I just absolutely, it's one of my most favorite accents ever is that's
not quite as thick as it used to be. I've been out of Louisiana for many years, but I still have some of it.
Yeah, it's cool. I love it. Now you said that you taught for 20 years on a collegiate level. Where did you teach?
I am not going to mention the name of the college as I don't want any backlash coming to them, because
that's okay.
Psychic mediumship isn't, you know how it is.
It's not accepted in all areas. And that is something that people should understand. Like when
Correct.
the whole world is not woke.
Right. And what I always tell people when I do readings, and say I have a spirit steps up and they want to pass a message to the client to give to someone else, I always say make sure that person believes in mediumship. Not everyone believes in mediumship, and that's okay. It's okay. Just don't tell me what I need to believe.
Right.
So yes, I taught at a community college out because I just have a master's degree, and to teach at a 4-year university, you need a PhD to be working on it. So I just have a master's. So I taught at a community college out of North Dakota. When we were stationed there, I taught in the classroom. And then when we left, I continued to teach online.
Nice. Very nice. I'm just so proud of you. If nobody ever said it before, Christy Godwin, I'm proud of you.
Thank you, Picasso. Thank you.
Okay, so, and you're married for a gazillion years now.
36, yes. A gazillion, 36,
Oh, my record, I've never been married, but my record is only 4 years. So that's,
it is not for, I say it jokingly, but it's not for the faint of heart. I'm sure there are some people who have been married that long who haven't experienced a lot of turbulence, but everyone I know that has been married for that long has experienced a lot of turbulence in the relationships. It's just hard to have to understand. I got married at 17. My husband was 20. We were babies. We really had no business getting married. We were very dysfunctional in our own regard. So we did a lot of growing and healing together. And if you're not on the same page in that growing and healing, then it can really cause some distress in the relationship. It
feels like what happens in relationships that are long like that is like one, maybe you will go, oh, I'm energetically and spiritually and on all aspects, I'm going to bypass you. And then he comes along and goes, oh, no, you're not. I'm going to go over here. And it's kind of like a back and forth sort of, I don't know, not a playing field, but along those lines, because there are challenges and one steps up and is a little bit stronger than the other. It's in some parts. And then, then the other one comes along and steps up and, good for you, because it definitely is not an easy thing. I'm certain of it. I've seen many tragedies.
It's hard. It's hard.
Yeah, for sure.
And I always say, marriages don't end because of lack of love. They end because of lack of respect
and understanding.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, absolutely. And then you have 4 kids?
I have three daughters. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. And so let's see here. Here's my first question for you, Miss Christy. If you didn't marry or have kids, where do you think you would have landed? And what would you have been doing?
I would probably still be in Louisiana, still in the South. It's where I feel most at home. It's my, ancestors, way back when they hit this country in the 1700s, went straight south, and then we've been there ever since. So I would definitely still be in there. And probably in some kind of corporate America. I have worked off and on in corporate America. My master's is in business. So it's got some kind of business, running a business.
Yeah, again, I'll tell you, you are the hardest working woman in this industry. I really have to say that. So I'm not just spewing it to spew it out. You know what I mean? I'm serious. We've worked together and we came in at different levels, but watching you from when we started and when I started in classes, and you're in, some of the same classes, and you just shot up like a rocket, like nobody's business. So you should be very proud of the work you're doing.
I will admit, that's one thing I will say. I do work hard.
Yeah.
And I have spent more hours in education working on my psychic mediumship than I did getting my master's degree.
Yeah. Sure. Have you always had the same ideals and approach to work from the very beginning?
As regards to my psychic mediumship, or in general?
Everything in general?
Ideals, yes. I've always been a person of integrity. I've always been a person of my word. Now, of course, my beliefs have changed over the years, like my fundamental belief systems. But when it comes to integrity, being a person of my word, being someone who is accountable, working hard, those are all innate qualities that have followed me no matter what industry I was working in.
Yeah. So being so busy like you are and doing so much, when all is said and done at the end of the day, where do your thoughts take you at the end of a day?
What am I doing next? I kid you not.
And then, so when you wake up, where do your thoughts begin?
I really try to start each morning before I get out of bed, really pouring blessings over that day. When you wake up in the morning, you're kind of in a trance state and you are maybe programmable isn't the right word, but it's a great time to set intentions of positivity. So the second I wake up, I really try to pour, facing the day with unconditional love, offering grace, mercy, and love to all those I encounter, and to be accepting of the path laid out for me, and to look for the synchronicities of those who are trying to guide me. And if any kind of negative pops in, if I feel any stress, like I know what my calendar looks like when I wake up. And if I kind of feel any pressure from that, it's like, no, I will have the grace, energy, and love to face whatever comes my way.
That's beautiful. What a beautiful way to start the day.
You just don't have to, but if you cannot muster in that first second of waking up some love, you're gonna have a tough day.
I know. So if you had absolutely nothing going on, what would you find yourself doing?
Playing with my grandbabies.
Oh. It's funny, when I wrote this question down, they showed me this picture of you sitting at a creek with your feet in the creek. It was so cute. I'm like, I don't know. I feel like you ground in nature. I feel like it just is one of those things that helps you connect.
Yes, nature is absolutely where I ground. And it's funny, when I came up on the soul plan, my major number, there's a number that speaks of, it's a Mother Earth number. Mm-hmm. It is predominant. It's also the number of mediumship, clairvoyance. And so it's a very dominant number in my chart. It's like whenever you already know some things about yourself, then when you go for numerology or astrology or teachings of Michael or soul plans, it's just, I knew that. Oh yeah, it makes sense now.
Yeah. We get little drops of information along the way. Can you imagine coming into this life knowing everything? How crazy that would be.
No, I wouldn't want to.
Mm-mm. Yeah, I wouldn't want to either. It would be just.
I joke, if you see some of my postings, I'm funny about it. Like, yeah, can you give me, guides? Can you send me a flow chart or a memo? Every once in a while, that would be nice, but for the most part, no.
Yeah. All right. So out of all the things that you teach or have taught over the years, what do you want people to remember?
Love. You have to face people with love.
Can you expand on that?
I just think that people are so busy trying to sit in judgment of others, and they don't realize that whenever you sit in judgment on others, and especially in my psychic mediumship classes, I really preach it, you are no one special, but you are uniquely you. Mm-hmm. And I don't mean that meanly, but people always want to make themselves so special and set them apart from other people. No, I'm a psychic medium. Am I good at it? Yeah, because you know why? I've studied a lot and I've practiced a lot. Yeah. Anyone who studies and practices a lot is going to be pretty decent at something.
Yeah.
And so it doesn't make me special. I just chose something I was interested in and pursued it. And I'm not any different. No one is any different. We all have our own special place on this earth and a part to play. And we need to approach people with kindness.
Yeah. That sounds so much like the message that came through. Well, I did it yesterday, but it's for the week on my channel. I do the card pull, but I start with the spirit message, and it's very much like that. It's okay to be different. Yeah, you're different, it's okay to be different.
Yes.
It's okay. Yeah, we're all.
And your difference is where your magic is.
Well, exactly. That's the most beautiful part of it. How boring it would be if we were all the same. We wouldn't be able to tell each other apart.
But my students will start teasing me because if we work with Partner Up, I put you in breakout rooms, all that. Every single class, I will say a couple of times, be kind, be gentle, be kind. We're all here learning. Be kind, be kind.
Yeah. Yeah, you don't know what somebody's been through in that day, when you come across them. So a harsh word can just really tear somebody down. So do your best to start with kindness. Just do your best. Sometimes it doesn't always come out how you want it to come out. Sometimes we're a little bit brash or, don't have a filter, but try your hardest to remember to start with kindness. And then later you can bring the sword out if you need to.
Right. I mean, I'm not saying that we can't defend ourselves, and kindness is certainly should not be mistaken for weakness in any way, shape, or form.
So next question. You're doing okay with these questions?
Oh, yes.
Oh, please. Okay, good.
I love them.
See, I'm not too nosy. I'm not going to put you out there and splay you out. So we're always learning. If you could be anywhere in the world and learn anything, what would it be?
It would have to be something about mediumship or helping people heal. It would have to be something like that. I am going next year to the Arthur Findlay College to take a class. And my husband was teasing me. He says, Christy, really, what else can you learn? Is there anything else you can learn? I don't know, but I'm gonna try. So I'm very excited about that. I think just living life is a journey and is a school in itself.
Yeah, I think it's important, you're going to love Arthur Findlay College.
I'm going next July. I'm going to take a trance class.
Okay, that's fantastic.
Yeah.
We did a little bit of that when I was there a few years back. And they had like a breakout afternoon. They had breakout afternoon sessions with different tutors. And I can't remember the name. I want to say Janet Parker was the one that taught us the trance. And let me just tell you a little quick story about that. We were in the room, the platform where all of the greats, Gordon Higginson, Albert Best, just all of Arthur. This is Arthur Findlay College. This is his home that he gave for learning and for spiritual growing and all. And so we're in the hall where all the greats give their messages and do their teachings. And we're broken up into small, two pairs of two, and we're doing the trance thing. And I went in and it was very easy for some reason. It just came very natural. It just happened, probably because I had no expectations, and it happened. and then, this guy came in and, complained that it was a small space. This big guy, small space for him to fit into. It was a crack up. Anyway, finished with that. And came out of it, and out of my mouth came, holy shit. In this the teacher looked at me and I was like, oh, sorry about that. It just came out because it was
I'm looking forward to experiencing the energy of the place. I've taken trance classes before, but I'm just excited to experience the energy of the place. And, it's always nice to just kind of take a break from work, take a step back, do some learning, meditation times, and feed your soul.
Exactly. You have overcome trauma and adversity. If you could go back and change people and or situations, would you?
I would never change people's behavior towards me because that has really shaped who I am. I would change my reactions to others. Like in that healing process, I did not react with the love and patience that I would now. And I would never go back and change someone else's treatment of me, but I would certainly change my treatment of some other people and try to walk in a more higher love vibration. I come from a house that was very much survival of the fittest, and that's all I knew. Any kind of kindness was seen as weakness. And, so I would certainly change the way I approach the world.
Yeah, interesting. That's good. I asked myself when I wrote that question, when I heard it come out, I asked myself the same question, and I'm like, And it's kind of the same thing as these things that happen, traumas, tragedies, whatever you want to call them, these experiences that are so intense, they do build us and they do make us who we are. Now, do I want to go through that again?
No, thank you.
Hell no. No. No, thank you.
I'm gonna pass. Take a hard pass.
I don't know, but hell no. So yeah, it's one of those things that I often go back and think about. So, and looking back, do you have any regrets?
Oh gosh, a ton, mostly about my own behavior. I always think, it's always a shoulda, woulda, coulda. So, and in my life coaching, I say, that's a waste of energy, but I would certainly, again, I change my approach to other people, my approach to life, just in general, enjoy the ride more. If I could tell my younger self something, do I think that we need to row the boat? Absolutely. I rowed my boat. And I kept my eyes on goals that I wanted to accomplish, and they were a hell of a lot of work, every single one of them. But on that journey of getting to those goals, I would be more joyful in them and try to be a little bit more patient and gracious, instead of just get out of my way, I'm headed there, get out of my way, I'm headed there.
Yeah. Christy Godwin, did you roll people over?
Maybe.
You go, girl. It's, look, you got to do what you got to do.
I would have certainly, as a parent, also tons of regrets as parents. We always look back, you yell when you should have been whispering, saying angry words and yelling when you should have been saying, I love you instead. So lots of regrets as a parent.
That's interesting. Well, I'm glad I asked that question. I'm glad. That's a good one. All right. What is the one thing that people don't know about you that would surprise them?
Oh gosh. Got it. People see me as, because this is one that's come up recently as, I talk about having a master's degree. I talk about doing all this. So people think that I am just, I've always had it together. I've always been smart, blah, 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 blah. No. I barely graduated high school. When you go through a lot of trauma and you're growing up, you don't realize. I was never told I was smart. I was actually told the opposite. And at the first corporation I was working at, a girlfriend of mine was trying to get me to take a class with her at the local college. And I was like, no, wouldn't do it. And so I can still remember she's standing in my cube and I was going to tell her my deep, dark secret, Picasso. She's begging me about this class, won't shut up. I was like, I'm not smart enough. I will never forget the look on her face, like, what? And so I told her again. She just let loose on me in a good way. Like, are you crazy? So she bullied me into taking this class. Yes, I took my first college class because I was bullied into it. And then I realized at that moment that it was just about an ingrained belief that I had been, a negative belief that I had been taught as a child. And, and I see that so many times, especially with my soul planning and life coaching. These people are so smart, but they were programmed as kids to have a complete disbelief in their abilities. And it's just, taking over their lives. And so now they think they can't accomplish their goals. They can't go to school. They can't be successful.
It's true. And I'm one of those. I am definitely one of those. And it's just a shame. It's a shame that out of the mouth of a mother or father, you could spew that kind of negative junk onto your baby, onto your child, and tell them you're not smart enough. You can't do that.
And you know what? It might not be those exact words.
Right. Exactly.
It can be covert.
Mm-hmm. They're very sneaky that way.
Mm-hmm. And you know what? They are parenting out of fear and dysfunction.
Yeah.
And they're creating this generational trauma.
Yeah. And it's important to know that you can break the cycle. It's why we do what people are calling the shadow work. And it's walking the way through. It's walking the way back through it. It's going into that junk and that untruth to find where the truth is.
Right.
That you are good enough. You are smart enough. You are strong enough. And sometimes it just takes a moment of taking those layers of junk off of you. You know, they put them on you, you held them for a lifetime, and we get to a certain stage and we're ready to unleash it. And
yes. And that's why I'm really excited about the hypnosis that I will be offering soon. I'm not sure when this is going to drop, but it will be on my website probably in 6 weeks or so, is because it's a way to break through some of that trauma quickly. You still have to do the work. No one can do the work for you. You still have to do the work. But if you're interested in doing the work, it's a great way to get to that subconscious, try to change some of that programming.
Yeah, it's important to know that it's possible.
Absolutely.
People don't realize that it's possible. It is possible.
It is possible. I'm not saying it's easy. Trust me. Please. But it's possible.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, look at you. Look at you, girl. You did it.
And hopefully other people can do it. And what I used to always say to my kids is, don't make my mistakes and make your own. So, yes, you can come learn from me. I don't have all the answers, but I can certainly help you along the way. And
right.
Tell you some of the mistakes I made so you don't make those.
Right, exactly. Okay, so one last question that I got from my meditation this morning and checking in with Spirit. Of all of your earthly possessions, what brings you the most joy?
Probably my house, because it's a house of peace. Not because of what it looks like, not because of where it is, because I infuse it with peace and I make sure it's a place of peace.
Nice. That's beautiful. It is what you make it, right?
Yeah. Everyone deserves that, to have a place of, where they can be themselves and be peaceful. And
very important. Very, very important. You can set that energy in your home.
I do.
You get to choose you get to choose what you want to live in.
And people will come to my house that don't even understand spirituality or energy or those kinds of things, and they will just go on and on and on about, there's something different about this house. What is it about this house? Or even outside, because every day when I sit in meditation, as I'm channeling love, I send it to my house and I send it out to my yard, and I really hold that.
That's nice. That's really, I want to come to your house.
You're welcome. I have an extra bedroom. Come on up to Nebraska.
Yay. They might kick me out.
Girl, if they haven't kicked me out.
It's funny, Nebraska is where my biological father was born. Over in Valentine, Nebraska.
Oh yeah, way out.
Yeah, way out in the middle of nowhere. One of my very favorite interviewers has been James Lipton. And James Lipton did the I think it's the Pace College inside the actor studio. And at the end of each interview he would do with the actors that would come in, famous actors, coming in, and then the students would sit in the audience, right? So James Lipton would go through his interview, and at the end he would integrate or finish with the Bernard Privot, a French journalist, had this list of questions, and he used it on a show called Apostrophes, and I think Bernard Privot got it from Marcel Proust. So just to give acknowledgement to where it began, I think Privot got it from Proust and Lipton got it from Privot and that sort of thing. And I'm sure it's changed over the years, but here are the basic questions. What is your favorite word?
Love.
What is your least favorite word?
Hate.
What turns you on?
You mean what makes my heart sing, or my family?
What turns you off?
Judgment.
What sound or noise do you love?
My grandbaby's laughing.
What sound or noise do you hate?
Yelling. Like that yelling of hate. You know what I mean? You can yell and hey. No, not that. The yelling that has that hate filled in it.
Mm-hmm. What is your favorite curse word?
Oh, the F-bomb.
What profession other than your own would you like to attempt?
Oh, wow. I have such a passion for what I do. I cannot think of one. If I could do anything, probably open up my healing more, like the healing side of my business more.
Mm-hmm. And then if heaven exists, what would you want to hear when you get up to the pearly gates?
Well done. Well done. Yes.
I would be like, phew.
Right. Yes.
You made it, girl. Good job. Well, those are my favorite questions from his.
They're very good. They're very good.
They're just so simple, and they give people a taste of who you are, where you're coming from. So I want to say thank you so much for being here and having the chat and answering the questions and sharing your knowledge. And you just have so much to give. And I'm just really, I'll say it again, I'm really proud of you.
Thank you, Picasso. Thank you.
So let's just, as we close, I'm going to let you, do you want to let people know where they can find you, or do you want me to go down the list of your socials?
You can find, I will roll it out. You can just, any kind of social media I have except Twitter. TikTok, I have a huge following, not huge, like, millions, but to me it's large, and I do a lot of lives. YouTube channel, YouTube, you can find, I have lots of information on there. Facebook, Instagram, my website, all under Christy Godwin Psychic Medium. All of them, yes, I try to keep the same tagline across them to keep it being confusing. My email is christygodwin111@gmail. But any of my accounts, whether you're on TikTok or my Facebook or my Instagram or my website, there is contact. There's a contact button on there where you can.
Right. So that's it, people. She's easy to find. Just enter in Christy Godwin medium or psychic medium.
Yep,
just
Christy Godwin Psychic Medium.
Enter that in just about any social media platform. Christy's out there and attainable. And one of the things you need to know about her, she works with integrity, honesty. She's clear, she's concise, she's accurate, and you're just a lot of fun when it comes to having a reading. So I think it's really important.
Yeah.
And know that, yeah, I'm a psychic medium too. And, I do readings also, but everybody is not for everybody. So you find your person. And if it's Christy, hang with Christy. If it's me, hang with me. If it's the next guy over, hang with them. And then try other people out too. It's all good. We're all here for each other, and we're here to raise each other up. And I think that's the most important thing that people need to understand.
So beautifully, Picasso. You're beautiful with that. I appreciate you.
Share.
Right.
All right, my dear. Thank you so much. And listen, everybody, I'm going to be doing this interview series. You'll get an interview once a week for, I don't know, for however long we're going to do it. Me and Spirit and whoever wants to show up. I have several lined up already. So they'll drop one a week, and I'm going to try to get Christy's out this week. So it'll be very exciting. You can always catch me here on YouTube. Check out the card pull for the beginning of the week and the spirit messages. You can book my readings at mediumshipbypicasso.com. You could check me out on Facebook, Mediumship by Picasso, and just share and subscribe and share some more. And because you never know that the message that comes out for the week might maybe be for you, but it might also be for the person that is around you that needs to hear it the most. So share, and I will catch you guys next week. Peace out.
Thank you.